So guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously myself, Stoomboy, as always, for the MMA UK BJJ show. So tonight we've been talking about Grapple Fest. Now we're going to move over and talk a lot about Evolution of Combat 10. So Evolution of Combat 10 is going to be at I believe it's the Carlton in Morecambe. So that's in Main Road West in Morecambe. It's going to be this Saturday. Doors open, I believe, 4 o'clock. If I remember rightly, the event kicks off at 5 o'clock. So I believe the first fight's on around about 5-ish. And it's a late one. So it runs till about 11:30 or until obviously the fight's finished. So obviously the quicker people submit people and knock people out and stuff like that means the quicker you guys can get home and get up the road. So, but 11:30 will be obviously the end. Again, obviously a lot of great fights are going to be on this card. As I say, there's going to be MMA fights, obviously pro and amateur. There's going to be a lot of grappling matches, and obviously Muay Thai is highlighted on this one as well. So obviously quite a few Muay Thai fights are going to be on the card as well. Now tickets, I believe, are available directly from the fighters. If the fighters do not have any left, then you will be able to get tickets from the Evolution of Combat Facebook page, which will take you through to helmtickets.com, and the tickets, including booking fee, I believe, are £37.80. So, as I say, make sure you speak to your chosen fighters first of all and see if they do have any availability left. So, one of the fights we're going to talk about tonight, one of the grappling matches, is going to be my next guest, Hannah Garrett. Hannah Garrett comes out of ASW, so comes out of an absolutely fantastic gym with an absolute brilliant setup. A lot of really, really good people coming out of ASW. So you can see these guys competing everywhere. I mean, these guys are obviously going to be on Evolution of Combat. We've got Grapple Fest and so on. So, and obviously all around, not just the UK, but obviously further afield as well. So Hannah's going to be up against Inga. That's about as far as I'll go. So Inga fights out of Reykjavik MMA. So Inga was on the last Evolution of Combat. So yes, going to be up against Inga. So Hannah, listen, absolute pleasure to have you on. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So obviously now we're officially back training. Hannah, how's training been for yourself?
Been good. Obviously no one trains in lockdown. So
we didn't at all. No one trained. No. Boris, if you're listening, we weren't training. We were.
So literally the gym's picked back up, and there's a lot more people have decided they're gonna start doing it. You normally get the ones messaging going, I'll be there, and it looks like the lockdowns made them go, no, I'm gonna start, which has been good. So there's a lot of fresh faces in.
Yes, and that's the good thing. I mean, I noticed that obviously from obviously my own gym that I train at, and then obviously people I speak to, that the gyms are getting a lot busier now than what they were pre-lockdown.
Yeah, they should just come off the mat then, and I think there's about 10 new white belts. All the blue belts have gone, obviously, all disappeared. But 10 new white belts.
Listen, new white belts. That means a lot of new people will choke out.
Yeah, literally, just fresh meat. I'll go with the 50-kilogram girl, and you're like, okay.
And what about you? I mean, typically a training week for you. I mean, what does a training week look like for yourself?
So I'll train 4 times a week, and then on Saturday, so it's normal tech like drills, and then we'll average about 6 rounds a night, and then on Saturday we'll do about 10 rounds. I've done that ever since I first started under Chris Thompson, and I was literally just told that's the only way you're ever going to get better. Like, do not duck around, be the nail until you're the hammer, but you'll always be the nail.
Yeah. And I mean, Tomo's absolutely brilliant. I mean, obviously, I get on really well with Tomo. As I said, been doing the Grapple Fest stuff for Tomo as well. So, absolute fantastic person to be under.
Yeah, honestly, like he blows your mind. Like, it's nothing flash. It just works. Do you know what I mean? And I'm less shit now. You'll probably still say I'm shit, but he's an absolute amazing person to be under. And it's like, I think I could almost take it for granted that I'm under him, because not a lot of people will get that type of coaching. Like he is, I like honestly, I think the world of him.
Yeah.
He likes me when I was a white belt.
And he's got the best tan, one of the best tans as well. He's always very tanned and so on.
Devastating, you know. It's devastating. He comes back, he's like, I'm a little bit pale, and you're like, are you? Are you?
Nice. And then, obviously, when we put the post up, there was a few people. Obviously, Kev Owen. I know me and Kev have fought. Kev kicked my ass at a competition a while ago. So
anytime I speak to him, he's like, I fought him. So so obviously Chris is in Spain now, so I do go over there and get battered by Louise, and so Monday Kevin John as well. Monday ASW Liverpool.
Yeah. Kev kicked my. I don't train no gi. I don't do any no gi. But whenever a competition comes up, obviously I go into the gi, and then the no gi is always like an extra tenner or something like that. So what I done, I'd always put my name in for the no gi. So and then I came up against Kev, who obviously trains a lot of no gi, and yeah, he kicked my ass. So, but it was good fun. It was definitely good fun.
Yeah, he's. Honestly, I think I rate all of our lads obviously highly. I don't think we produce anyone. Am I allowed to swear? I don't think we produce anyone shit.
Yes.
I think you get the fundamentals right, and that's it. And then you work up.
Yeah. Listen, you could swear on this show. I don't think any adults are letting their kids watch any of my shows. So, listen, swear away. And then we got one of your people, Muffius, just saying, yes, Hannah. So, yes, Hannah. So, obviously, a fan there for you. And then, and then Evolution of Combat, obviously coming up. So Evolution of Combat 10, always put on a great show. Again, a good mix of different martial arts. As they had, usually it was MMA, grappling, and kickboxing. So obviously they've introduced Muay Thai into this one on Saturday. So I mean, how did Evolution of Combat? How did it come up for yourself?
So one of the people who also run it, Sam, he trains with us as well. Big Sam, he's a brown belt under us, and he basically, I've had a few pullouts, unfortunately. You know, like people got COVID, and I was just trying to stay active, but there's not much in the way of competition. Like you enter and no one's in your division, unfortunately. So I seen they put it out, so I messaged them. I was like, I'd love one. They offered me a purple belt first, and then I don't think she could do it. And they said, do you want the black belt? And I was like, why not? Same. What's the worst that can happen? It's the same two outcomes. I either win or I lose.
Yeah. And what do you know? Do you know much about Inga at all?
First Icelandic black belt, female. So obviously she's going to have an incredible game. You don't get a black belt in this easily. Watched it at Evolution, the last one. Unfortunately, she lost, but I thought she had a lovely leg entry system. So don't want to really think too much about it, because I don't want to think about her game, because then you end up playing their game, and it's cat and mouse then.
So is that one thing? I mean, you then more concentrate on what you're going to do rather than the opponent, because obviously you've no control over the opponent. You've more control over yourself.
So so you don't want to go in. You obviously want to be aware of what they're good at. But you don't want to be like, oh, she always gets this move, because then you end up giving it to them because you overthink it. So I'm hoping to go in and play my game. That's the idea. That's everyone's idea, isn't it?
Definitely. And then Evolution of Combat is always a great event to put on as well. Is this? Have you ever been to an Evolution of Combat show?
I think I've been to one. We had someone from our team on it, and it was great because you're watching grappling, and then you're watching like people eat chin sandwiches, just get kicked in the face, and it was a nice mix.
Yes. And then one thing I wanted to mention as well, I mean, obviously people have put on quite a few comments when we put up the video for you. So let's talk about violence. So what's the violence about?
They choose violence. So there's blue belts going, you know, oh, I'm a Viking, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're from you're not a Viking. You're not from like Norway. You're not. So I'm like, I choose violence. So I just go on the winds up and be like, you're not a Viking. You drink Monster in your mum's box room. Stop it. And I just like to antagonize people, and then I forget that like I'm 52 kilograms. I'm like, oh, I need to stop this now. These are fully grown men. And then I'm just in the gym. I'll just wind up like blue belts. Like if they try and speak to me, I'm like, oh no, let's not.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like white belts to just say I can't learn your name. Yeah, I just there's no point in me learning your name.
But that's the enjoyable part. I mean, I know I do similar in my gym. I mean, I'm known as in my gym as the guy that will just wind everybody up, and especially when I'm rolling, I'll look over and I'll see someone else, and I'll be telling them, "I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do this," and it's entertaining,
I get it as well. So I ended up with the name Head Brace
right?
because of Louise Thompson, my like chief tormentor. So I had braces as a
Yeah,
kid, and she found out and ran with it. And I can't lose it now. And like no matter where to go, it's Head Brace, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take
And
it.
Louise also mentioned, as we said before, so the powdered milk queen. So what's that?
So you know, Mother's Milk, the sub.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I can't do it. Like I am literally so flat chested. It's like it's ridiculous. So we were doing it, and then obviously she was like winding each other up, and then so Chris was teaching it, and she went, "Hannah can't do it. It's piles of milk." And like the mat, there was like honestly at the time like 40 people on the mat, and everyone was just crying, laughing. And I was just sat there like, "This is a little bit mean." So now it's like an ongoing thing of who can have piles of milk. So I did tap Molly with it. I got Molly with it, and she was devastated, like crushed. So I ran away like Alan Shearer celebrating, and I was like, "No, we're done for the night. I'm not rolling anymore."
So, and with that, I mean, is it? Because I know it's important, obviously, for me when I'm in the gym and I've got people where we can get that laugh. I know that jiu-jitsu can be very serious at times, so just having
Yeah,
that where you can have a laugh and enjoy yourself when you're in class or rolling or whatever.
like so. Oh, like it's always been that way. Like we've never been one of them ones where you've got to stand up and belt order, like bows go on the mat. It's obviously just don't be like Chris's number one rule, and obviously what we've like John and Kevin carried over is just don't be a dick. Just don't
Yeah,
be a dick. So
yeah.
sometimes I'm not allowed to come because I'm a dick, and they're like, get off. Like, bye.
And then speaking of obviously your teammates, obviously Grapple Fest coming in saying you better win or you'll be cleaning the toilets at Grapple Fest for the rest of your life.
Honestly, I probably would, but I want to stay active enough so I can get back on Grapple Fest. Obviously, I got me purple off Chris during lockdown. Went over to Spain, and I was getting battered by Louise. Like at one point, I thought, "Are we even friends?" Yeah, she was like neon facing me, and Chris was watching. And I was like, you like look at someone going, "Look away! Don't look! Don't
Yeah,
look!"
yeah.
And he threw me purple belt, and I was just like absolutely shocked. So I haven't been able to compete as much at purple, so I want to pick up some momentum so I can hopefully get on it. So
Yeah,
obviously it's an incredible show. Like it is unreal.
yeah, yeah. Grapple Fest has got a unbelievable lineup this time as well.
You know, Chris will always know how to put on like a proper barn burner. Like, it's always it's never gonna be like a proper stall and match. It's always gonna be two people going for each other, which is
Yeah,
what you want. You want to be
yeah.
entertained.
Is there a fight on Grapple Fest that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, the Rosa Walsh and what's the girl's name from Fight Zone? I rate
Oh,
Rosa. I rate her so very very highly. Like
yeah.
she's incredible.
So Nadine Tavares,
Yeah,
Tavares. So Rosa Walsh and Nadine Tavares. Yeah,
yeah. Really looking forward to that one.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely going to be a
And
good
then
night. Yeah,
the two, they're they're unreal. Then
yeah. And then what about Evolution of Combat? I mean, obviously you're going to be on. I've not got the fight card yet, so I don't exactly know when, what part of the night you're going to be on. But is there a fight on Evolution of Combat that you're looking forward to seeing?
my one. No, there's I think there's one of her teammates, Inga's teammates. I've seen a couple of his games. He's got lovely top pressure. So I just want to see how he works it. Like, because obviously you're not allowed near the cage wall. They'll move it. So I'm just interested to see how he'll work that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guys at Reykjavik MMA, I'd say they came at the last one and they came over. There was quite a few. They brought a crowd as well, which was unusual, especially. Yeah, yeah. Listen, that's what they talked about, the Vikings. I mean, they've all got names like Thor and stuff like that. So these guys are coming over to invade as they did 600, 700, 800 years ago.
They're literally going to pillage and everything. It's going to be great.
And then, obviously, you touched a little bit about, obviously, future plans. So, obviously, being back on Grapple Fest and so
Yeah.
on. What other kind of things do you want to see yourself doing going forward?
I don't know what my game is. I'm literally just like, let's just say I really want to like, I just want to stay as active as possible and develop a game. Because at times I'm like, I really like the leg locks, and other times I'm like, I just want to like wrestle up and dominate. It's difficult because sometimes if I go to competitions, I do give up a lot of weight, so my game's got to really change.
Yeah.
But I just want to try and stay as active because you've only got like really a short shell life for this to compete on the likes of like Grapple Fest and Evolution of Combat. So I just want to basically be just really good and people to avoid me. That's what I want.
Definitely. And then, last thing for you then. I mean, obviously, you've been in the game for a few years now. So you've probably touched on a few people already. But yeah, anybody you want to kind of thank, anybody you want to shout out to, friends, family members, teammates, and so on.
I just want to like still the fact that I still hate blue belts. I just want that to be known. I despise them. But no, obviously just everyone at the gym, Chris, Louise, John, and Kev, who have like put so much work into me. And I think it's hard for them because I am the only female in the gym, and I do think they've like been able to still make sure I'm getting my rounds in. Darren, Cam, all the coaches at ASW, absolutely amazing. And Molly, who when Louise obviously left for Spain, she kind of was like, all right, I'll have rounds with you.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, guys, listen, Evolution of Combat, as I said, going to be this Saturday coming, the Carleton in Morecambe. So, get your tickets directly from the fighters. So, we're going to see Hannah Garrett, ASW, up against Inga of Reykjavik MMA. Promises to be a great event. Anybody that's been talking about you to me, Hannah, said, watch out for this girl. This is going to be an absolute brilliant fight.
What a dilly she is.
But no, listen, they say definitely look out because as I say, people are saying you're something special to watch. So we're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. So, but listen, absolute pleasure to have you on. Let's stay safe, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, then. Take care.
You too. Bye.